number of others that are going to do this through other technological means. So welcome. My name is George Cook. For those of you that don't know me, I'm the board chair at the AC, and I'm going to very rapidly turn this over for an introduction to Marianne Love, one of the co-chairs from the Sponsors Corp.
Good morning, and thanks, George. As George said, my name is Marianne Love, and I'm very pleased to be with you here this morning. I'm the co-chair of the OMERS Sponsors Corporation, and on behalf of my co-chair, Frank Ramagnano, and George Cook, I really would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you here this morning, and to those that are participating by webcast. We have a number of familiar faces, and I would like to thank you for your continued expression of interest in the plan. It's great to see all of you again. It's an exciting time here at OMERS, and it's a pivotal one. In 2017 was an extremely busy, and I'm thankful to say, successful year for OMERS, and that's in large part to I think, the disciplined execution of our 2020 strategy. Given all of that, the plan's financial health has improved for the 5th straight year. Now, assuming the market continues to cooperate, where's Satish? He's here somewhere. Thank you. We should be fully funded in the foreseeable future. So that's great news. That's great news. And I think it's something we should all take comfort in. But it's not something that we should take for granted. All right, like all major defined benefit plans, OMERS is facing very real challenges that we need to be mindful of. OMERS has forged a 50-year history of innovation, change, and growth. With a plan that's on solid financial footing, there is really no better time than now to take the next essential step and to fully assess the plan in a fast-changing world. We have a wonderful opportunity, and I would say a strong obligation, to determine what our sponsors, unions, employers, and members really want and need from this plan, both today and in the future. It's all about protecting the OMERS legacy of success and ensuring our plan remains sustainable, meaningful, and affordable for generations to come. Now this morning, in terms of our packed agenda, you're going to hear from Michael Latimer, and Michael's going to outline the considerable progress that's made against the 2020 strategy. We established that strategy in 2015. And he's going to introduce the framework for our emerging 2030 strategy, the past, the present, and the future. And keeping in line with this theme, Jonathan Simmons is going to then come forward and he'll take us through the 2017 financial results, which I'm sure you'll all be interested in knowing and understanding. And he also provides some thoughts about future trends and some corresponding strategies in relation to those trends. Finally, we'll hear from Paul Harrietta. He's our CEO of the OMERS Sponsors Corporation, and Paul's going to discuss the comprehensive plan review that's currently being undertaken by the Sponsors Corporation Board. Of course, we want to close with enough time to be able to answer all of your questions. I'm hoping you'll find the session both full and informative this morning. And with that, I'd like to hand it over to George.
I've successfully used the clicker on the screen. For those of you that are less familiar with me, you'll wonder why that would be a challenge. For those of you that know me, being somewhat scripted is very out of character. So hopefully the slides actually do match the words. We're here today as part of a very large, highly diverse group of members, employers, sponsors, unions, associations, people who work hard to make our communities work. And I think it's really significant that everything that we talk about today is placed in that context. During 2017, recognizing that membership, we've spent a lot of time ensuring that we're meeting or exceeding every commitment that's been made in our 2020 strategy. We've actually done, and we're doing exactly what we said we would do in that plan. We're improving the health of the overall OMERS plan. We've strengthened communication and outreach with members, employers, sponsors, unions, associations. We're working collectively between the two corporations on a longer-term strategy. And consultation has been launched as the SC undertakes a comprehensive plan review. And something that I want to pause on for a moment before we get distracted, either by looking at our results or looking at the plan design considerations, we actually conducted some research with an outside consultant, Deloitte, with respect to the social value of the plan. And that's something that I talked very briefly to you about last year when we started the session, and it's something that I do want to spend a few moments on this morning before we get started. As you know, there's been lots of work done around the economic justification for a defined benefit plan. There's been less work done around a social policy justification for a defined benefit plan. And when you look only at the economics in the pure sense, large pools of capital tend to behave in similar ways. And so if we want to distinguish ourselves from other forms of retirement provision and security, we need to actually, in my view, look at a social policy justification. And in that regard, that's something that we tried to do. And over the last year, we engaged Deloitte to undertake some research, a comprehensive study actually, and their results generally support something that we believe for a long time, and that is that a defined benefit pension arrangement is in fact the best way, not only for the members, but for society as a whole, to proceed into retirement. Now there's some areas that didn't show material difference between those with or without a defined benefit plan. Mental health, for example, would be one of those, but the research does show a meaningful difference between OMERS members and others that are not in a defined benefit plan against 4 dimensions. Management of health. OMERS members feel healthier overall and stay more active in retirement. Community engagement. OMERS members are more likely to be active participants in the community through volunteerism and charitable contributions. Financial stability. OMERS members are more likely to feel well saved and well served for retirement and able to cope with a large unexpected expense. And self-reliance. Our members are less likely to be dependent upon family and government financial support. These insights are highlighted in our various forms of annual reporting, and they have been and will be used as we discuss matters pertinent to our plan with various decision makers, regulators, and others. But from my perspective, this original research work confirms something that I think all of us have long believed, and that is there's great importance in preserving OMERS as a defined benefit plan. With that context setting, I'd now like to turn this over to Michael Latimer, who will talk to you about our plan.
Well, I'm going to touch a little bit on what George was speaking about, but if I could, just to pick up on that theme, I mean, that's really fundamental. That research and our ability to be able to take that story out to the community collectively as a group and share that, because I think it's hugely important for us as a defined benefit plan. So good morning. Thank you, George, and thank you, Marianne, and thank you, Frank. welcome. This is a big day. I see we're competing with a little bit of noise next door, so I'm going to try and elevate my conversation here. Thank you for coming out today. It's great to see that the room is actually full. I also recognize that we have people on a webcast with us today, so welcome to that group at the same time. For some of you may or may not appreciate this, but this is actually, I'm just past my 4th anniversary, which is the 1st of April, and it's been a great time, and I've really enjoyed the opportunity to have the leadership role at OMERS, and the time goes by very quickly. For a lot of you, you'd know that I've been focused really on 3 things, and the 3 things that I expect to be focused on during my tenure at OMERS, and that is all about our people, our results, and our culture. And I think those are the 3 fundamental things that I talk to our organization about, whether I'm out externally talking to people or whether I'm inside our organization. Those are the 3 fundamental things that I'm very focused on. I'm also going to share with you, as George identified, some of the progress we made against our 2020 strategy. As you know, that's our roadmap. That's how we think about our plan. That's how we think about how we can measure our actual progress. I wanted to share with you, though, something that we put together internally that we have used both as an internal tool, if you will, and at the same time something we've started to share externally. And it's a little bit about our origin. As you know, we go back to 1962, so what are we, 56 years old? It tells a little bit about the premise that together we are stronger, which is what OMERS was founded on. And I think it's quite reflective of us as a jointly sponsored pension plan. So if you could allow me, I'm going to ask them to roll this video. It'll take just a couple minutes, but I think that you'll understand the significance of this in just a second. So if you could roll that video, please.